Hey, what's going on? Pasita here. Today we're going to talk about guitar neck dive when you are playing your bass while sitting. Neck dive is basically when the headstock of your instrument has a tendency to want to drop towards the floor, just like that. Okay, so I'll talk about some reasons that cause the bass to have this neck dive, and I'll show you what I've come across to fix it without having to damage your instrument. Okay, so there's a few things that can cause neck dive. The first thing is if your headstock is very heavy or heavy in comparison to the body of your instrument. That's just going to want to, create the center of gravity to be further out, and then that's what's going to cause the neck dive. Another thing too that can cause neck dive is the scale length of your bass. If you have a long scale instrument, those are going to tend to have neck dive compared to short scale instrument. Okay, again, because your center of gravity is going to be further. Another thing that can cause it too when you're sitting down and playing, on your instrument you have these things. This is called like the horn. This is the upper horn and this is the lower horn. The lower horn tends to be small on basses. When you're sitting, when you have a shorter horn, that causes also neck dive too as well, because the center of gravity is somewhere like here, and with the neck, if the horn is too short, it won't hold the instrument up. So let me show you a good example. Is, for instance, this Reverend Decision bass. There's almost no lower horn here. Okay, so when I put this on my leg, it suddenly just drops. Okay, and this is actually how you test for neck dive. Just put it on your lap, and if I'm I don't have to hold on to it with my fretting hand, and it just drops, then I have neck dive. If you're going to test this out, always have your hand close by so you don't drop your instrument on the ground. Okay, but there's problems with neck dive. If I'm always having to hold my instrument up actually with my fretting hand, I'm going to lose dexterity and flexibility with my fretting hand. I won't be able to play as fast with my fingers. I also won't be able to glide along my fretboard as easily because there's going to be extra tension with my thumb holding up the neck of my instrument. Now, of course, I can also put weight on my, with my plucking hand or the arm of it to kind of hold the instrument up. Again, that's more tension too as well. And then that's going to ultimately slow down my plucking fingers. So what we want is a bass that is balanced when I'm just in a sitting position. If I'm in a sitting position, I shouldn't have to, I should be able to just let go of my arms and the instrument shouldn't fall. It should just remain balanced. Okay, so let me show you what I've done or what I've come across to try to fix this. Okay, the first thing that I did was I came across something called the Dinarette guitar cushion. Now I don't have that with me anymore. I used it for years, and then ended up getting rid of it. But basically, it's this big cushion. I'm going to try to show a picture of it, and it just goes underneath your instrument, and the cushion is kind of angled so the instrument kind of leans towards your bass, and it has a non-slip surface so the instrument doesn't fall out. Now it actually works. I can keep my bass very balanced. I'm able to sit with very good posture. And play my instrument very relaxed. The reason why I just got rid of it at the end of the day was it just was so bulky to bring to all of my gigs, and it just looked funny just having it live. It just didn't, comfort and look. I mean, it just looked weird to me. It was just this big pillow that you kind of just brought with you, but it is worth checking out. So I'll put a link to guitar cushions below. There's a lot of these guitar cushions that you can find that are very similar to the Dinarette, and they come in different sizes too as well. But it's worth checking out. It's very inexpensive. They run around about $30. The second thing that I tried that works also is this device. This is called a Performaxe. And this is very similar to, not necessarily a guitar cushion, but what this does is really more of like a leg rest. Now, there's a couple things to note. This thing is designed for guitars, electric guitars, not for electric basses. But I still got it anyway. Now this comes from Italy, and I ordered it from Italy. I got it anyway because neck dive is it's just a total pain when you're trying to play your instrument and you're constantly fighting your instrument. And I play predominantly sitting down, so I really wanted to find a solution. So here is how it works. Okay, I'm gonna put my instrument upside down, and I'm just gonna place this on the lower horn of my bass. And then you have this thing here that kind of goes up and down. Okay, this allows you to change like the angle of your instrument. And then I'm just going to tighten turn the screws. So this kind of like clamps onto my instrument. And then this now sits on my leg. My hand is completely removed, and my instrument stays balanced. Now this is really good because I can fix my posture, and I can play very relaxed, and my fretting hand can glide along my fretboard. Couple things though. Again, it's not really designed for a bass guitar. So while this works for my Fender Jazz bass. Okay, so this is a Fender Jazz, and this works. This is how it looks. It's just attached to my lower horn. But it does not work for my Reverend bass. It does not work for my modulus bass. I have a modulus 5-string, and these are basses with very short horns. What I found was, because of the long scale, or the long scale neck of my modulus, and just the very short horn of the Reverend, that putting this on actually made it more unstable. The neck dive was even worse because the center of gravity was further back. So if you're going to consider getting this, I really highly recommend writing to go to the website. I'll put a link below, but write to the person who created this and just ask what their thoughts are, because this only works again for me, it only worked for my jazz bass. Does not work for my Reverend, does not work for my modulus. I also have a Fender Precision bass. It doesn't work for that either. The jazz bass just happens to have a much longer, just a little bit longer lower horn. And so it works really well for that. Now, there is one more way that I recommend definitely checking out, and this is the way that I actually came across, and I've been using this ever since. This doesn't cost any additional money, especially if you already have this item, and I'll show you how it works. Okay, so when you're sitting down and playing, a lot of people will just say, oh, just wear a strap on your instrument, but that doesn't work for me because I have a bad shoulder, so I can't wear straps. Okay, but what I did have straps, I just can't wear them. This is what I'm going to do. All I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the strap to the lower, to the back part. Jeez, don't do that. To the back part of your bass. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply sit on my bass. Sit on my bass strap. Now, I like this method because the bass is solid. Even if I hit it, it's not going anywhere. What's happening is, by sitting on my strap, my body is counteracting the neck dive. It's just holding on to the back of the bass here, and it's counteracting this neck dive. This isn't going anywhere if I hit it. This is a very stable way, so that when I play, I can still move with my body, but at the same time, this is not going to neck dive at all, and I don't even have to hold my instrument at all. So my left hand is able to stay very relaxed. Okay, so those are some of the solutions that can help, fix guitar neck dive if you're sitting. Again, they don't damage your instrument whatsoever, but I think they're all worth checking out. All right, thanks for your time, and I hope you got something out of this. If you did, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you later. Hey, what's going on, Posita here. Today we're going to talk about guitar neck dive when you are playing your bass while sitting. Neck dive is basically when the headstock of your instrument has a tendency to want to drop towards the floor, just like that.